Well, what is going on, everybody? Good afternoon. Hope your day's been going great. We're going to do somewhat of another comparison video. I got a couple bikes lined up. These two are quite obviously mine. This bike belongs to my friend Mauricio, and this bike belongs to my friend Guiche. Picture is right about there. That is Guiche. So, the last video I did of a comparison did pretty well, so I figured I'd do another one, kind of go through what these things are, what the differences of them are, how fun they are to ride and whatnot. Other than the Harley, there's a couple beauty issues with all the rest of them. My beautiful Savage has a flat tire, so that won't be able to be ridden today, but that's in other videos. You guys know what that looks and sounds like. This Magna, this V4 Magna, actually a very comfy seat, ridiculously comfy seat that is ripped. Tape on a gas tank is never a good sign, but we're going to avoid that. Also, this is normally never a good sign, but we're going to ignore that as well. Our Star over here, which I think is actually a bad looking little bike, man. It's low to the ground, it's pretty wide, you know, wide hips, short and wide hips, you know. A lot of men like their girls like that. I got the Audi up and running, that's a good thing. But all right, I don't know a lot about these bikes offhand other than my two. I'm gonna do another comparison video pretty soon. I got a couple people that are gonna let me borrow their bikes to put them on video, but for now this is the lineup. And I don't know too much about these offhand, but I do know someone who does. That would be voiceover Grim. Go ahead and take over, man. All right, the 2015 Yamaha Midnight V-Star. It's got a wet weight of 613 pounds or on a 950cc motor. This bike is also known as the Yamaha Dragster 950. The bike comes with a 4.5 gallon tank accomplishing about 47 miles per gallon. An air-cooled single overhead cam 4-stroke V-twin engine provides power to a 5-speed transmission. It's reported to top out at around 58.2 foot-pounds of torque at 3,500 RPMs, but peaks at 50 horsepower at 5,600 RPM, maxing at 90 miles an hour, which I don't believe really after riding it. Somewhere the math is messed up. The current listing price is around $4,350 depending on mileage and condition. Some on the open market are requesting an $8,000 price tag, as they are said to last well over 150,000 miles if properly maintained. Hopefully that was enough information. I won't know until I watch the video myself. Okay, so that's everything that you really need to know about this little guy. We'll take this one out first, but let's move on to the Magna. This bike is also short and stout, you know, unlike the chopper style like I'm used to. I kind of like this a lot better, but these are comfortable. Similar kind of seat, but voiceover Grim, help me with describing this one. Okay, so the 94 Honda Magna V4 with a dry weight of 504.9 pounds, around a 750cc motor. Honda lifted the engine from the VFR 750 and put it in a cruiser chassis. The engine itself was upgraded by the addition of chrome and some extra fins, as well as a chromed 4x4 exhaust, complemented by 41mm forks, dual shocks, a 5-speed transmission, and chain-driven cams utilizing smaller carbs. It's reported to produce torque around 51.3 foot-pounds at 7,250 RPMs, which roughly equates to a maximum peak output power of 78 HP. Honda documented it was capable of a max speed of 120 miles an hour. They now sell in excellent condition for around $4,800 bucks. All right. Hopefully Grim of the future took care of that. One thing I did notice is she obviously did take a spill. That's, you know, that would explain that. But in another video, link in the description, I compare these two. So there's not a lot to go over. This is a 2015 Harley Davidson Sportster, 1200 cc. Nice fat motor on it. Really, really gorgeous pipes. A really, really pretty sound. Gorgeous sound on this thing. Small peanut tank, which is what they had in the 48 in 1948. And she's pretty much fine-tuned. I've done a lot of stuff to her. We got LEDs wrapped around. That's in another video. Shout out to Al for hooking me up with that. And yeah, just a fun bike. So you'll pass anything but a gas station in this thing. You're constantly getting gas, but you know, biker lifestyle, right? This is the Suzuki Savage, a 1995. The stock pipe sounded like a lawnmower, which is again in the other video. So we replaced it with a Super Trap exhaust system, which just makes it purr. If you have one, I've got thousands of views because of this bike on that last video. If you've got one and you don't like the sound like you're mowing the lawn, get a Super Trap. It's an all-around great accessory for this bike. Iron cross turning signals, because you need to look cool, right? Brass knuckle foot pegs. The Harley, I just got a sissy bar put on, and the reason they call it a sissy bar is because bikers used to ride their sisters around, and instead of hugging up on their brothers, they would hold the back of the sissy bar so they didn't fly off. Yeah, I love these little pedals like a bicycle that I put on. But we've already covered these two, so let us try out these guys. One thing I love about this Star, these floorboards, footboards, whatever the heck you want to call them, it's also a lot quieter and quite a bit slower than I was imagining. I literally only took it to here, just a couple-minute ride, so you know, I didn't really get a good feel. We'll take it around this neighborhood, and then we will try out our Honda over here and just give it a good old-fashioned, whatever you want to call it, a scale 1 to 10. I was going to take these down Harlem or down a highway and open them up and see what they could do speed-wise. There's really no point. And this is expired, so I got to blur those out anyway. But let's get on this thing. It's fairly heavy, which I probably already covered. Future Grim probably already took care of that. Little dinky mirrors, but overall a gorgeous bike. I love this thing. I mean, I was never a Yamaha guy, but I mean, Geese did really good on this. It's ultra chromed out. The motor on it, the gills on it are it's like half black, half chrome. Just, it's a good look. It's a good look for this bike. Again, these floorboards or whatever, I mean, I got a size 13 boot, so they don't fit all that well, but it is ultra comfy. The seat is ridiculously comfy. I don't know if these work. I'm not, you know, putting on any music anyway. We want to hear the bike itself. Again, we've heard the Suzuki Savage, which is now called the Boulevard S40, I believe. We've heard that thing. It's extremely loud. We've heard the Harley. We might bring that around the neighborhood. I don't know. There's a lot of police presence. They know I'm in town. But fuel injected, which is also a great thing. Beautiful display. I mean, this is a gorgeous display. Tells you when you need gas, all your other stuff that you need. Tells you that you're in neutral. The Harley, out of every beautiful thing that the Harley does, it looks like the neutral light does not like to work on it. So that's a bummer. But we will listen to that thing. All right, well, there's a lot going on here. I guess we'll wait a moment. What a great time, you know? What a great time for this to happen. I think he's beeping at that guy. Oh my Lord in heaven. All right, let's start the cruise. Nice smooth transition. Okay, brakes. not the best. Okay, brother. I like the look of this bike, man. Use a turning signal. There's the things that bleep. You idiot. Yeah, nice and smooth. Nice and smooth, man. Not as loud as I like motorcycles, but nice sound, man. Nice sound. Man. Just a, I mean, really great ride. This is a really, man, I am enjoying this thing, to be honest. I really like this. Very smooth transition, man. The very wide, obviously, like I've said 4 times, 5 times. Wide body, but it doesn't feel, you know, annoying. You know, sometimes you get a really wide bike and it's got a queen seat on the back and some really big bags, and it's a little much sometimes. I got really long legs and long arms, so it's not really difficult for me, but I have been on bikes that were just too much, just too wide. Unless you're 6'4" and you weigh 250, those bikes really, you know, sometimes just aren't very comfortable. I am enjoying this, man. This is just nice. And listen to that sound. Now, the best way to hear the sound is the face, and I'm sorry about the wind, I can't do crap about that. But you look at the pipes, the pipe side. Now listen to these pipes. If you heard them over the wind, they sound awesome, don't they? Okay, I almost pushed the started button as a turning signal. Let's not do that. But fuel injected, so not a lot of stuff to do. You turn the key and you go. It's unbelievably smooth. I could imagine doing 80 on the highway with this thing and not being annoyed. You know, some bikes, they look nice and they sound nice, but once you get into the top speeds, you know, they're screaming, they're shaking, the bars are doing this and everything. And generally, I don't like this curved, so one way, I don't like this curved handlebar. As you see on my chopper, I got the really big ape hangers up here. I don't like bending down, but because it's so stout, because it's so short and wide, this just feels natural. If you had ape hangers on this thing, I mean, for one, they'd be out to here. They wouldn't be in the middle where you would want them, and it just wouldn't be right. They did a really, really good job on the curvature of this thing. Normally, again, not my style, but I would rock this thing. I heard he is sending this overseas to his brother, which is a shame because I wouldn't mind picking this up off him. but you know, he was kind enough to let me take it for a little ride, and I am enjoying it. What a guy. Thank you, brother. All right, so let's go back and check out that Honda. All in all, honestly, I mean, this is not even because it's my buddy's bike. All in all, for comfort, I'm thinking of like a 5-hour ride. How would this fare out? Big giant tank, unlike my Harley, but you wouldn't have to stop for gas constantly. The pipes sound great. The placement of your hands feels right. You know, it's not in front of you with such a wide tank. Everything's just right on this thing. I really like this. That Cyclops headlight right there, great look for it. I mean, if it had multiple lights up there, it would look kind of silly. Phenomenal. All in all, I give this thing maybe a 9.5 for comfort. It's unbelievably comfortable. So nice. Contract. I wasn't threatening you, lady. I was being funny. Listen to that pipe. Oh, so nice. So very nice. The back brake is phenomenal too. I mean, when you're riding, your front brake gives you 70% of your stopping power, and your rear obviously gives you the other 30. Or you can put your feet on the ground, but that back brake is really fat and nice, man. It's just really nice. Oh, here it is. I don't know if it's self-canceling turning signals. My Suzuki Savage, same thing. The turning signal is only on your left hand, and it doesn't self-cancel, so you're constantly blinking at people. Again, hashtag biker life, right? Yeah, no doubt, man. 9.5 out of 10 on the comfort scale, man. This thing is just awesome. I love it. I really like this bike. I am digging it, man. Mr. Geesh, I appreciate your time. Thank you for letting me ride this puppy. Alright, I want to first off apologize for the end of that video. Evidently, I had a battery in the GoPro, and it's kind of like leaving a battery in the car. Even if it's not running, it's going to drain the battery, and it died as I was pulling up. I reviewed the video, and at least it gave me the beginning and whatever. Just, you didn't see me park, which is no big deal. But anyway, you got my views on this thing. Absolutely love it. It's called a Midnight Star. by Yamaha. I believe it's a 2015. All that information is going to be down. You guys will know. This thing with the road rash is what we're taking out next. All right. And don't always judge a book by its cover. I mean, you know, sometimes you can do that, but you know, it may look messed up. I mean, this side's all right, right? Yeah. All right. So, and look at this taillight on this thing. That is gorgeous, isn't it? I mean, everything else is pretty plain, but that's just really good looking. So let's take this thing out, see how it rides, and give it a good assessment. We already know that there are some flaws with it. I could already tell you it's not as comfortable as this. I mean, the shocks on this thing are just crazy. I mean, crazy shocks. Also, there's a grouping of lights here. I'm just gonna assume and hope that's not for safety. It's not a safety thing. But let us also, if you can't see, this thing has an intercooler. I mean, how cool is that? None of these other bikes do. Everything else is just completely air cooled, so this thing could theoretically sit while running for a while. It is the I think this is a 94. I'm not sure. Yet again, that's a 95. So these two are both carbureted. Those two are fuel injected. But let's pull this choke out. I only ran this thing. I've never ridden this thing. I've only started it. Not another school bus. Are you kidding me? Okay, let's. If it's we'll go right. So, choke out. Sounds mean. Got warm quick. All right. Also, good thing, it's got a neutral light. You see? Not the most beautiful. And also, this is not tape. This is Velcro. For whatever reason, you know, put a pretty little picture there. You could, if you would trust your phone there, you know. You got a bigger set than I do, because I wouldn't. Yeah, it wasn't ready. And let it warm up a second. We'll try to figure out what these lights are for. Not turning signals. I want to know how this thing handles. Because it's just an odd shape. It's just, everything about it's a little bit odd. And the displacement, if you see the V-twin motor, like on the Harley, and the V-twin on this, it's kind of normal. The motor on this, it doesn't want to stay alive. Gotta love the carburetors, right? I mean, it smells good. Oh yeah, the motor on this thing isn't like a V, it's like this. It's really far off. It's really weird. Come on, yo. This thing don't want to stay alive. My buddy had it running. I mean, he drove it, so. Hold on, hold on. Try these fail safes again. We killed it. Well, you saw how that thing rode, right? It was awesome. So it has been, I have been storing it for the guy, so it hasn't been running in, it hasn't been ridden in a couple weeks at least. So the battery's dead. I wonder if he's got a trickle charging unit. I'll figure that out later, because I have the system in here. I could charge it up for him. Got a helmet lock, which the Harley doesn't. But look at that displacement. Look at that motor. I mean, there's one piston heading that way and one heading this way, as opposed to the V-twin, what's really normal. But yeah, that thing was very fun. This thing doesn't want to run. I mean, we didn't get those loud battery clicks, which is irritating me, because that's usually indicative of something not wanting to run because of a battery. Yeah, no, she's dead. Fish out of water. It's okay. Whatever. I mean, we gave it a shot. We took out the Star. That thing don't want to go, which is a really, really big letdown. But hopefully there's enough info in this video about this thing for you to make a decision if you're thinking about buying one, or whatever the hell you clicked on this video. This is also chain driven. Everything else is belt driven. Belt driven, in my opinion, much better. You don't have to worry about oiling it. I had a couple bikes back in the day that were chain driven, and I mean, like, legit, every time it rains you're supposed to oil it if you want optimal performance of it. But yeah, so, and these spots are actually from fixing my Audi, so don't think any of the, but well, I mean, that thing's flat, but you know what, let's take out the Harley for a little bit. You guys have seen this a million times, unless it's the first time you're clicking into the video. But you saw how the Star ran. Now this mamma jamma, this is my baby, and it too did not want to start. 2 days ago it was extremely cold out, and so I had to put it on a trickle charger unit. Also, it's not nearly as comfortable as that thing. Geisha's bike is extremely comfortable, and you know, with the chopper style, with certain elements, you give up on other things, and choppers aren't really expected to be comfortable. It's more of the sex appeal of it. And man, that's a bummer. I really wanted to take the Magna out. I really, really did. Because, I mean, by the looks of it, you'd be like, oh, well, that's, you know, it's not the best looking bike in the world. It's got a very weird displacement for the motor. Pipes are nice, though. They did enough chrome. They didn't overdo it on the chrome. The red is not the ugliest red I've ever seen. So it's got some things going for it. A lot of things going against it, but I really wanted to take it on the road. So that's kind of a bummer, but whatever, we can't dwell, right? But yeah, man, 9 out of 10 for comfort on the Star. Just sitting on the Magna, I mean, without actually being able to take it out for a cruise, it's hard to say, but I'd say maybe an 8 for comfort, just because of the seat. being very comfy. Where your legs sit around the bike is actually pretty comfy. Sorry, I'm a longer dude, so the Savage is pretty comfy. It's kind of swooped downward, so you're sitting lower, but you got your hands a little higher as opposed to being more straight or more downward with your hands. So the Savage is, I give it that 8.5 for comfort. You know, if I was smaller, it would definitely be a 9. But so far, the Star's got the comfort. The Harley, $7 for comfort. I mean, in my opinion, you guys tell me what you think, but it's the best looking bike out of all of them, but not the most comfortable one. It is the fastest one out of all of them, especially that one that doesn't want to go. And this thing, I mean, you're screaming at 85 miles an hour. On this thing, you're coasting at 85. But let's just take her around the same, you know, around wherever the hell, you know, this is. And you see if you can see any difference. You know, obviously the bars are a hell of a lot different than those. Very comfy bars. A lot of people ask me, isn't this uncomfortable? No. The ape hangers, these are 18 inches, the tallest ones that I could find. They're actually extremely comfortable. And I'm not an around the town kind of rider. I'm out for hours. When I go for a ride, a good ride, I'm out for 8 hours of the day. And, you know, your butt hurts because of this banana seat. But your arms being up and in front of you are much more comfy than your arms being down and having to lean forward. So this one, you got your back curved a little bit, you're sitting, you know, you could actually bend your arms, you're not like flat out, like uncomfortable. But and she runs really nice. So let's do this. It's comfy for the upper body. After a couple hours, your butt hurts. And again, let me know what you think, but I think it's the best looking bike out of all of them, especially with that heavy flake. But I think it's the best looking one. It's by far the fastest one. It's the loudest one. And these 48s are on some list. I don't know if it's through Harley or whatever. One of the best sounding motorcycles. I mean, you sound and look like you want to cause trouble on this thing. If you look at my older videos, you'll notice the handlebars that come with it. You're leaning down here, and you're a little bit forward, and that's kind of annoying. But with the mods that I had done to it, the longer chrome line, just the better handles. I forget what this thing's called, but this is fun on the highway. You don't have to grip it. You just kind of use your palm to push down. You know, whenever you get a bike, make it yours. Whatever the hell is comfy for you. What's comfy for me might not be the comfiest thing for you, and vice versa. But I think we all have an understanding if a bike looks good or doesn't. I mean, I think there's a general consensus. If you see a really ugly bike, and I have seen some ugly bikes, or a really good, how about get over there? But yeah, listen to these pipes. Now this thing I could take on the main street all day and really have some fun, but you've seen that enough in my other videos. I ain't trying to bore nobody, so let's get back to home base. But yeah, I can't remember where I read that, but I think it was actually from Harley, but I could be wrong. And yet again, it's just somebody's opinion. But the Harley Sportster 48 has one of the best sounding pipes, and I mean, even sitting still, they are some nice sounding pipes, man. The get up is impeccable. The torque on this thing is just mad. If I tweak the Midnight Star around, I think I would. If I tweak the Midnight Star around, I'm pretty sure I could get that torque ratio up a lot more. I feel there is a drag on it, but again, it's got like 4 more pounds of gasoline in it than this thing. It's also a wider bike. Again, it's stout. This one's a little taller and skinny. So very straight, very straight bike. I'm pretty sure all of them are, but you're more comfortable messing around and goofing around and having fun on something taller and thin, like a dirt bike. That's when you start doing wheelies and stuff for the first time. It's usually always on a dirt bike. You don't got to worry about gears and whatnot. But this one does have self-canceling turning signal, so that's a major plus. And another thing about having big ape hangers like this, you never get sweaty armpits. Never. It's phenomenal. Pull up to a good business meeting or a date on one of these. Yeah, they redid that. That thing was smushed before. Someone hit that. It's a shame. But alright. I'm gonna go put this puppy back. I'm very sorry about the other one, the Honda, that Magna. It's got no juice in it. I'll plug it up, and maybe in another, I'm gonna borrow some other bikes, might buy a couple more to do some comparison videos. When I do that, I'll bust out the Magna. Found the place. So yeah. Good looking Audi, man. Oh, that's mine. Alright, so. And again, no neutral light. So you kind of, there's some guesswork. But you're rarely going to find a bike that you can consider a chopper, something that you've chopped up and did stuff to have everything working properly. But I am blaming Harley on that one, because I bought it like, well, it legit worked that first day. Next day it didn't work, but just wanted you to hear the pipe. It's mean. And this is my little button for my LEDs that you can't really see very well in the daytime, but my sissy bar. So there you have it, folks. The lineup, where we got to take 2 of them out. This thing's a beast. I love this thing. If you're looking for style and speed, obviously the Harley. If you're looking for price, the Savage. If you're looking for something to work on, you got this thing. And if you're looking for absolute comfort, you're going with this. This Yamaha is beyond comfy, man. It's so good. I also wanted to test the horns, because some horns are just ridiculous. I want to put a train horn on my bike, but you need a compressor and all that other stuff. But okay, that will wrap it up for today. Hope it wasn't too boring. Hope I gave you enough info without actually riding this thing. And this thing's got a flat... God. Napoleon Dynamite. All right, you guys have an absolutely beautiful day. Thank you for tuning in. Please comment. I respond to everything. I read absolutely everything personally. Keeps me doing these things. Let me know in the comments which one's your favorite. If you were to get a bike or you have a bike, let me know. Are you in it for comfort? Are you in it for looks? Or did you get it just because of the price? Or do you like working on them? You know, we got 4 different, 4 big metal bikes with 4 different, possibilities. You got comfort, work, money, and style. But all right, that'll do it for this video, and I will see you guys soon. You guys will see me soon. Something, whatever. Have a beautiful day, and as every time, love y'all.